Hello everyone, good evening. Please confirm if it's audible. Hello, good evening. Let's wait for 2 more minutes. Thanks for the confirming. We'll just start the session in couple of minutes. Well, first of all, thank you so much for your time for the live session. So let's start with the session. In this particular live session, we are going to discuss about full stack Power BI with Power Platform. Now, what is this Power Platform? Now, we all know that Power BI is one of the best BI tool currently in the market, but we do have some of the supporting Power Platform tools that we are going to discuss today. Now, you would have known about app. What is an app? Maybe in your Play Store, you get some apps and you use it for your convenient. Now, this is very much similar to that. Let's exactly see what do you mean by this Power Apps and what is this Power Automate. So combination of Power BI along with Azure that we already know why we are going to use as one of the cloud computing, and apart from that we are going to learn Power Apps with Power Automate. So all this combination of four tools, we'll just call it as full stack Power BI with Power Platform. To begin with, we'll start the agenda with why visualization is very important, and we will then talk about Power BI and some of the things to fill as a loophole. We will learn Azure, and finally we will end it with Power Apps and Power Automate. Now, to begin with, let me give a simple example. Assume that there is a company, they are maintaining the sales and revenue for 12 months. Now, this is a sales and revenue for 12 months, which you're seeing on the screen. Now, one thing you need to understand is we do have the sales component starting from Jan to December and revenue, that is nothing but also called as a profit, which is again ranging from January to December. Now, let me ask you four questions. Let me ask you four questions, and the four questions are: which month is generating maximum sales? Which month is generating minimum sales? Which month is generating minimum profit? And which month is generating maximum profit? Now, if I ask you these four questions, can you think of the answer? Definitely you can answer, but you will take 30 to 40 seconds to answer this. Now, let's give a try. The one question which I asked is the maximum. So maximum, I can say that this is a maximum. Now, when I say minimum, this is a minimum. Now, same if I want to calculate minimum and maximum revenue, I would say that this is a maximum and minimum is maybe 150. Now, Honestly, I would have taken 30 seconds to answer this. But what we can do is there any better way to visualize this? Is there any better presentation to see this? We do have it, and that is something that we can see in this way as a line chart. Now, the moment you see this, what you observe is this is a peak, this is a peak, and this is what is a highest for sales and highest for revenue. And we do have the lowest one, which is a December. Now, don't you think I took just 5 seconds to answer this? I just take 5 seconds for answering this. Now, in fact, one thing I'll also tell you is if I take these two pictures as an example, in the first example, I'm thinking of only the questions which I asked. Which month is maximum, which month is minimum, which month is maximum profit, which month is minimum profit. Other than these four answers, you never even thought of anything else. Let's say the same question if I asking you with the picture 2, you'll also say that start of the year the revenue and sales are good. Mid of the year the sales and revenue is stable and end of the year it's low. So not only answering the four questions, not only answering that four questions, I can also come up with few more insights as well as observation. That is possible only if it is visualized. So your picture says it all. Your visuals play a very important role. Now, every business demands for visualization nowadays. They don't want to do all the paperwork which they were doing. Everything they have to have visualization as part of the requirement. So everyone prefers to have visualization. Now let me give another example. Let's say you have a store and you have the product and you have the sales. So store can be like it can be any of their offline stores where you can get your phones, and you have different varieties versions of the phone, and you have sale. Now if I ask you a question of which store is making a good sale, whether it's a store 1, store 2, store 3, you have to do a manual count, or you can either use an Excel sheet or maybe you can have in any of the BI tool and you can achieve it. But this may not be always a solution, but if you can put it in this way, this will come up with an analysis of how you can minimize or maximize the sales. Let's say you want to maximize the sales and minimize the efforts of breakage, then you can use this. So always remember your visuals play a very important role. Now, one thing you need to understand is this converting of raw data into insights or converting of a data into charts, that's where the BI tools stand on top. Now, let's understand what happens if you don't have any visualization tool. If you don't have any visualization tool, there is always a problem. You cannot go and do a manual work every time, because as and then we know we are into the data driven technologies, data driven world where a lot of applications has been happening around us. So there's always a challenging around us. So how can we manage this data? So first of all, managing the data itself is a problem, and how you will analyze with your raw data. It's practically not possible without any BI tool. And now what we are going to do is we are going to use BI tools for visualization. Your visualization is very important for every business because it will save lot of time for a manual work or for the manual analysis, and it will also give time for you to improve in terms of thinking and thinking out of the box in improving the business. That's what we are going to do now. Now, your life with visualization is very easy for you to make some decisions. Like if let's say your entire business data is being on the screen with a good visualization technique, you can always have a good clarity of your business. Now, rather than doing all your manual work, manually analyzing the data, if you are doing it in a BI tool, it gives you a lot of time for thinking about the business. Your business will be in a very good shape if you are providing support towards the thinking rather than doing your manual work. Now, this is about the visualization. Now, let's talk about why this is important. You can simply say, what will I do with data? For you, it's a data. For the companies who are generating the data, it's asset. They can generate money, they can generate revenue with the data. Every single data point is a key factor for them. You may be using 50 applications, 50 apps, but for each and every app, you have to have your own account, own details. But for you, it's a usage. For the company, it's an asset. Every account you open, that's an asset for the company. They will be generating revenue out of it. Why? It can help us to understand the customer behavior. It will also help them to think about what can be brought into business. How can we improve the business? Who is a loyal customer? Who is a customer they need attention? What type of marketing strategies I can bring to them? So all this can be brought into it if you are analyzing the data. That's where your visualization is key factor. Now, we are talking about visualization, visualization, visualization. So who is the person who's going to do it? That's where you will be thinking about business intelligence. Now, what is this business intelligence? As and then I said, you're trying to convert your data into report. There are multiple things that you need to bring it onto the table. For example, the data may not be clean. When I say the data may not be clean, let's say there is a age column and there is one more data set with the age column. In one data set, maybe they are maintaining 31 years, 20 years, 15 years, 9 years. Okay? Yes. Now in another data set, maybe they are maintaining with 480 months, 800 months, 350 months, 200 months. So what is the problem here? Two different types where they are storing. Definitely this needs correction. Let me talk about gender. In one data set, the gender is MF. In one data set, the gender is MF, male, female, MAFE. Tell me one thing, is this the six type of changes is required? With only one M and F, I can judge whether it's a male or female and why I need this type of variety. Why I need this type of values. So definitely this also needs correction. So we do have data warehousing system where you create the entire data in a well organized form. Data governance. Nowadays data is getting leaked like anything. You need a data security team and you have to integrate the data from multiple sources. That stands at data integration and visualizing the data and making sure that it's a one-stop shop. You need a data visualization tool and a master database. So all in all, I can call it as BI is a very, very important part of your life. If this word is mentioned in your resume, that will add that much value because you're converting idea into business. You're converting your idea into business. So that's where this business intelligence stands on top. It will combine your knowledge with your business knowledge, with the analytical skills, with the data point and provide the end-to-end solution. This is what BI. Now, let's talk about Power BI. We talked about BI. Let's talk about Power BI. Now, Power BI is a business intelligence tool which will help you to understand analyzing the data. In case if the data is not clean, it will help us to clean the data, build a complete end-to-end structure, and the most important point is you can visualize the data. All in all, it will help us to have good clarity of cleaning the data, analyzing the data, visualizing the data. And this is what a BI tool, and the name of the BI tool is Power BI. You may ask me a question, is this the only tool available in the market? And so to answer this question, I would say we have another 30 tools that are currently in the market. There is Tableau, there is Oracle, there is SAP, there is MicroStrategy. So there are different tools available in the market. Now, who can say which is the best tool? Of course, you cannot come to a judgment. I cannot come to judgment. So we have different factors. Based on the different factors, we can decide which is the best one. Of course, there is a company called Gartner. What exactly this company do is they will compare each tool with each tool. For example, they'll compare Tableau with this, Tableau with this, Tableau with this, Tableau with this, Tableau with this. So they will compare every tool with every other tool just to get out the first best team. It's like a IPL where you play a round robin. Every team plays with each other every team to judge which is the best team. There can be only one championship. Similarly, there is always a challenge that is going on between the comparison, and the Gartner company has come up with the ranking system where the leaders tab Microsoft's Power BI is on top. Assume this as a race. Assume this as a race where this is a start position and this is a finish line, and the one which is always on top is Microsoft Power BI. For the last 4 consecutive years, starting from 2018, Power BI is on top. That is to be considered as one of the best BI tool in the market. This is about the Gartner's analytic ranking system. Now we all know that Power BI is on top. You should also be, let's compare with the first top two. If you see, Tableau is in the second place. Even though it is integrated with the Salesforce in the last year, still it is in the second place. Now let's compare your Tableau versus Power BI. It's basically comparing your 1 versus 2. Who knows, tomorrow Tableau can also come into first place. So it always makes justification to compare with the next number rather than going and comparing 1 with the 30th tool. No, doesn't make sense. Let me compare 1 with 2. If you see in the last 5 years, the trend between the Power BI and Tableau, you can see on the screen what is a trend. Now, what do you mean by trend? Google will manage your Google account and it will also see how many people are searching, how many people are looking for fixes, how many people are looking for installation. So we do have a lot of things that is happening behind the scene. What every browse you do it, Google is monitoring it. So how many people are asking questions, how many people are posting it, how many people are searching it. If you compare, this is a trend, and one thing you can focus is your Tableau search is becoming a stable line, whereas the Power BI is trying to move in an upward direction. That's a trending one. Now don't you think this will provide a lot of clarity for us? That's where the comparison between Tableau and Power BI. So Power BI is always moving in an upward direction. It's a trending one. The first reason which I gave you in terms of deciding the best tool, I did not do it. Gartner company has been ranking Microsoft Power BI is on top. Now even I am seeing the second part, which is a Google trend. Even this will confirm you that Power BI is better than Tableau. And Let me talk about the third one, which is the history of Power BI. This is very important because Power BI is just 7 years old. It's a newbie to IT. It's a newbie to technology. It's just 7 year old. There are many technologies that is there for ages, like 20 years, 30 years, 40 years. But this is a tool which is there into the market just 7 years. You go and ask any other developer, maybe a UI developer, a Java developer, you go and ask what is this Power BI, they will never know. As long as they are working under data or a data analytics or a data engineering or a data science, uh, except these people, no one will know this. The reason why is it's a very, very new tool. It's just 7 years old. I'm not sure if you have observed this. One tool which we are using on a day-to-day life is a Excel sheet or maybe a CSV file or maybe even the PowerPoint presentation. And you just go and search in Google maybe a PowerPoint presentation. You'll get n number of tools. You'll get n number of tools. But remember, even today, even for this presentation, even for this live session, I am using Microsoft's PowerPoint presentation. There are n number of tools in the market to create a presentation, but on the screen, even now you are seeing a Microsoft PowerPoint presentation. The reason is it has created its own brand. It has created its own brand. That's the reason this is in one of the topmost product, I would say. Even the Power BI is of Microsoft brand. Definitely you know the brand value. Definitely you know how trustable the product is. So in fact, you're dealing with data. You should have a data security. You should have some of the data governance. Now this is a branded product that can be used for any of the tool. The power of Microsoft, it's never loses its brand. It have lot of supporting apps. Now let's talk about let's talk about this are the few companies which are using Power BI, and I'm saying it's just a few companies. Okay, there are lakhs of companies who are using Power BI on a daily basis. Just to give you some thought, I've given you this 5 to 6 companies, and more than this, there are n number of companies who are working under Power BI. So three reasons I've given you. One is a Gartner, and one is a comparison between Tableau and Power BI, and one is a history that I'm telling you. This is one of the newest technology, and it's one of the Microsoft product. That is the reason these three things surrounded by making this BI tool a better one. Now, one thing you need to focus is, so this is a report that is generated with Power BI. And I'll tell you one good thing about this. This entire application, if you see, which is a Flipkart sales and dashboard, this complete dashboard report is created with no coding. Complete dashboard is created with no coding. How powerful is this? Without even writing any code, we are able to do the analysis. Who is our top customer? How much sales they are making? What is the total number of customers? And we do have sales details. Everything we do have visualized. There is a sample report where you can even get it by year wise, month wise, and you can see the trend, and you can use it for all of your applications. One thing you need to remember is This is also built by without coding. And within 30 days, you can do this report. We'll train you on each and every chart. We'll train you on how you have to build a dashboard. We'll tell you how to think in terms of business. We'll also make you to think in terms of how to generate the revenue, and we'll help you to do a report in just 30 days. In next 30 days, you will be in this position to create your own report. That's what we're going to train with Power BI. Now, we're talking about Power BI, Power BI, Power BI. Is it something that a Power BI cannot handle it? Definitely. At one point of time, there could be a slight problem with Power BI when handling a huge data. See, Power BI is the best, but there are small loopholes which has to be fixed. And that loopholes I can say simply as, what if you have a huge data? Do you think your Power BI can handle huge data? Definitely yes. But at one point of time, it will become an overburden to Power BI. Now, we all know megabyte or gigabyte or terabyte because this is all your applicable to your phone. When I ask you how much GB is your RAM, maybe you'll tell 1 GB, and how much is your hard disk, maybe you'll tell 64 GB. When I ask you what is the configuration of your system, you will tell terabyte. After that, petabyte, exabyte, zettabyte. Now, what you need to understand is, what you need to understand is when you are having this growth of data, and just to keep you intact, the data which is getting generated in 2020 from all the systems, we have 40 into 10 into 21 zeros. We have 21 zeros. Question to you: do you think this data can be stored in any of the traditional databases? Definitely not. The reason is, the reason is, as and then the data is keep on increasing, where do you store? Do you think your Excel will store? Do you think a normal database will store? Definitely not. And you can see there's a tremendous growth after 2006. The reason? Smartphones has been very cheap. You can even get a smartphone for 2K, 3K. And you know what is the internet price? 399 for 3 months. And every day 1 GB, 1.5 GB, 2 GB. And this is a minimum internet you can get per day. Minimum. Maximum it can even go to 5 GB. And in fact, if you have a broadband, it's unlimited. Now, when you can get a smartphone for lesser price, and when you can use the internet for unlimited, and imagine how the data will grow. Lot of things are happening at the background where the data is keep on generating every single day. Now, where do you store this? A simple example: 20 years back, 20 years back, there was a different phase of life, and now it's a different phase of life. If you remember, in 2009, this is a year where WhatsApp was launched. This is a year WhatsApp was launched. And in the just 10 years, see the changes that has happened. Before WhatsApp, you're sending the messages in a normal message, per day 100 message. No messages on festivals because they'll charge you some 1 rupee 50 paise, or maybe they'll charge you on the New Year day, Christmas day. All this were happening, and it was only 100 messages per day. That also you were limiting yourself whom to send on priority. And today you have unlimited messages in WhatsApp. And in fact, you were struggling to send a picture message in your normal phone 10 years back. And now see the changes that has happened. You can send even a PDF, photo, images, video, audio, unlimited messages. And your messages can be of any length. Even if you keep on typing from morning to night, even if it's a pages of words, still you can send it. That's how the technology has changed. When this technology is keep on changing, end of the day, data is also something which is keep on increasing. Now, how do you manage this data growth? One point I can say is, in order to stop this data growth, people should stop using internet, people should stop using smartphones, and they should go back to the old manner of using a landline phone. Do you think that will work? Never. That will never be possible. In fact, the data also can never be brought down. Now what we are doing, in order to handle this type of data growth, your normal database or normal Excel sheet cannot handle this huge data. You need a process, you need a method, you need a place to store this data. That's where we'll start seeing about cloud computing. Cloud computing is a technique where you can store your data onto the cloud premises, which can make your work easier. You cannot always store it in your Excel. You cannot always store in your database. Not possible. You have to think bigger. And now if you want to store the huge data, we have cloud services. Now everything you cannot put the burden on Power BI just because it's the best tool. There is small loopholes that has to be fixed. So let's do one thing. Now let's store the data in one of the cloud services. You have four famous cloud services. Of course, AWS is on top, but what we are going to learn is Microsoft Azure, because Azure is also a Microsoft product and companies are using Azure for data storage. So in this course, with the Power BI, we will also be learning Microsoft Azure. The reason why we are learning Microsoft Azure, who knows, 2 years down the line, 3 years down the line, when every system is migrated to cloud, then they may ask you to learn the course. Now we will learn it before only. We'll keep this skill within ourselves so that we can also get into the cloud-based projects. Now this Microsoft Azure is a cloud-based technique that we can use it to store the data and also for fixing small issues with the Power BI. Now, why you need cloud? You cannot go and request the on-prem serve for your data storage, because as and then your data is increasing, your price of the cloud also will be, your price of the service will also increase. So better to move to the cloud, and you will have unlimited storage. How much data you can store? Unlimited. And it's also very good for flexibility and faster deployment. You be in any part of the country, you be in any part of the world, with the URL access, you can access the company data. That flexibility is with just internet, you can do it. Now we are going to learn about Azure. Even though it's the second largest cloud computing than the AWS, comparing the other features like pricing part, the flexibility, the data services, this is also the best cloud service we can use it. And it's like worldwide access. You can access your data from any part of the country. That's where your Azure stands on top. Now just we have learned the Power BI, we have learned the Azure. Now what we can do with this two is every transformation, every data loading you may not be able to do with the only Power BI alone, because Power BI alone, there is no point in overloading this tool just because it's the best. At times your Power BI also may face some issues if the data is too huge. In order to maintain the data storage as well as the data transformation, we will be learning Azure with Power BI. Where Azure will help us to maintain the huge data, it will help us for transformation of huge data, and within Azure we do have something called Data Factory. Azure Data Factory or ADF, which can be responsible for helping us the connecting between your huge data to Power BI. Okay, we have learned Azure, we have learned Power BI, we have generated the report. What's next? What's next? The next what we are going to do is we are going to develop an app. Now, what is this app? In fact, you have your own mobile app where you can use it as a interactive communication between the business and yourself. I'll give you a simple example of Swiggy or Zomato. What you do, you go, you browse for the food, you browse for the restaurants, and you order food and you get it. Now, what you're doing here, and what you're doing here, you are interacting with the app. Now, app is built for your convenient, and in the app you're getting all the list of the restaurants as well as the rest of the food items. That is all coming from a report. Now, what we are doing here, we are trying to build a power app which can include your business logic and which can help us to transform your business operations into a automated digital process. To give it more insight about this power app, you build a three different type of apps. One, you can call it as a product app where you get all the product information, and someone is requesting for tickets, or maybe I would say they're asking for some of the clarity about the product. They're raising some tickets. In fact, even you do, right? If internet is not working, you simply go and raise a ticket. So that is where there is a separate report that is managed by separate set of people, and there are different apps that will created as a one app where you can rate it, you can use it, you can enrich the logic, you can use it as your own Play Store app. You know what? Once you build a report, the next thing what you can do is you can also integrate with the application. That application can be run on a system either in your phone, tablet, or even on your website. So it can become like a app, and you can start creating your own app for your business. And in order to do that, we do have something called Power Apps. And by using Power Apps, you can build your own business design for your system. And again, I would say this also fall under no coding. This also fall under no coding category. So there is a myth. I'll tell you what is this myth. You go and ask any working professional who is a software engineer working in a different company. You go and ask them suggestions. Hey, what I need to do in future after my graduation or maybe after a work experience? Everyone says the first thing you should know is coding. Coding is required to get into a company. This is a myth. I'll tell you, trust me, without even knowing a single line of code, you can land up in very, very good career in IT. The reason? There are a lot of things you can do without coding. Coding is not life. Coding is just part of an application. You can do a lot of things without coding. People who are coming from a non-IT background, people who are coming from a gap, people who are worried about how we entered into IT, this are all, I would say, this technology will be really helpful for you because you can do wonders with this type of technology and tools. They made your work everything easy. The only thing which you want to do is very simple. Use properly. That's it. Everything is already built. With the Power Apps, you can start creating apps for your business. Okay. Power Apps, I can build applications like this. What's next? What's next? The next is, if you want to automate the process, when I say automate, if you want to send some reminders, if you want to schedule some task, if you want to move some files every now and then, you want to have some repetitive task that has to be processed. For all these things, you can start using something called Power Automate. We are going to use Power Automate. Now, what is this Power Automate? Power Automate is a method where you can automate your process. Everything you can automate. Whatever the manual work you're doing, everything can be automated. See, automation is going to be the future. You cannot always go and sit and do the report every time. You cannot always go and repeat the task every now and then. Your time is very precious. You cannot always go and do a manual work. If you want to send some schedulers, automate it. If you want to automate some process, just like you want to flow through some process, automate it. If you have some repetitive task, automate it. So where we started with data, we started with Power BI report, then we have created Power BI apps, and then we are trying to automate the process. Now what we will do, we will try to connect the dots. We'll try to connect the dots. Now this is where is your Power BI report, and with the help of Power BI apps, you can interact with your Power BI, or you can interact with any of your applications, and you can also automate it. If you want to get some email notification, if you want to get some messages, if you want to use it as an interactive report, and if you want to schedule some task, everything can be done by your Power Automate. You are building your report and you're trying to manage it with a Power App, and you want to automate that. That is where your Power Automate also comes into picture. So this is Power App, and this is Power Automate. So all these three, connecting the dots, we call it as, all these tools we can do it with respect to Power Platform. Now this is what you're going to learn, and in fact by end of this course you can start creating your own app for your business. Building a Power BI report is a different, now building an app is a different. That is what you're going to do by end of this course. A lot of people are saying that, okay, what is this Power BI is getting down? No, maybe many of them are learning Power BI now. Initially, no one was knowing Power BI. Now everyone is learning Power BI because there's no coding. Now only Power BI, maybe there are a lot of people, and with the extra Power Platform knowledges like a Power App and Power Automate, you can enhance your skill. Companies are looking for a person who can automate the entire process. Companies are looking for the people who can try to create a business app. Companies are looking for the people who knows an end to end. That is where this course is, which we are going to start, will be full stack Power BI with the Power Platform, where you are going to learn SQL, we are going to learn Power BI, Azure, and Power Automate and Power Apps. So all this combination of 5 tools, if you learn it, definitely you will be the highly skilled person in the market who can easily grab the job opportunities. So this is where the connecting dots between different tools. Now the next thing you need to understand is there are job openings available, but people say that the calls have went down. The reason is initially there were more opportunities and less people. Now what is happening? Now it has turned to more opportunities, more people. More opportunity, more people. So this is a reason that this is a reason that you feel like the calls are getting down. No, the calls not getting down. Many are trying to grab the opportunity within Power BI. Power BI is still in demand, still in demand. The reason why you're not getting calls because you are searching only with the Power BI skill. Companies are looking for multi-skill. Companies are looking for multi-skill. They have to have multi-skill. If you want to survive in IT, you have to know multiple technologies. Now there are a lot of openings where you can grab it, and I can say that who should go for this course? This is the first question you'll be having in your mind. The first important point I would say, people who are already into IT, you can enhance your knowledge. People who are coming from non-IT background, this is very important. This is where you can grab this market. Assuming that you are from a different background, if you are from a banking sector, if you're working in admin department, you're working in a non-IT, you're working in a BPO, you can get into this skill. And one thing which you can remember is the moment you come out of the college, everyone says, please do one testing course, please do one Java course. Not required. You can easily get opportunity for freshers if you know these technologies. Companies are looking for people as a fresher who can capture this Power Apps, Power Automate, Power BI. Easily you can get into this skill. And the most important point I would say, career gap. Of course, life is unpredictable. We may or we may not have certain things happen. There could be a career gap. It could be your personal issue, health issue. You had a career gap and now you want to restart your career. If you are doing any other course, definitely the expectations will be high, and here also the expectations will be high. But one thing I can promise is this is very easy to learn. You need not put out a lot of efforts in sitting and coding. You can easily get into the expectations because whatever you're doing within the app. Within an application, you're going and building the things. That is where this stands on top. And one more important thing is, if you are working in a non-technical, you can easily get a switch over to technical by these tools. So all these points I can say that course which we are going to have, Power BI with the Power Platform, and which can be helpful even if you're from a non-IT background. Everyone is saying Power BI calls are getting down, Power BI calls are getting down. I will never agree with it because you are searching only with Power BI. Only Power BI who will give you job. You have to have the supporting tools as your knowledge. Companies will look for multi-skilled. Companies will look for multi-skilled. You have to have the complete knowledge of end to end. That is where this course will be helpful, assuming that you are coming from a basic background, knowing Power BI, knowing Power Automate tools, Power App tools with the one of the cloud services. Definitely you need not even think about enhancing your skills for the next 10 years. Next to 8 to 10 years, you need not even study any other tool. Your life will be settled with this four combinational components. Definitely you can get into a very, very good role. That's about this question, which is one of the common question asked in everyone. Okay. Now, the next question, why you have to join our institute? We are going to cover from the basics. That is, we are going to start with learning SQL. And 40 hours we are going to learn about Power BI, where we'll be concentrating on Power Query Editor. We are concentrating about DAX. We are concentrating about visuals. We are concentrating about services. So all this we are going to learn for the 40 hours, which are going to provide complete end-to-end knowledge. Along with that, you will be learning some 15 hours of Azure, where whatever is a drawback of Power BI, let's say for the data storage or for the data transformations, we'll start using Azure services. That also we will cover as part of our course, and we are going to spend next 30 hours in Power Automate and Power Apps. By learning this 100 hours of BI technology, you can grab the market. And again, I'm saying if everyone starts reading Power Apps and Power Automate, what will happen? Again, you will complain that okay, jobs are getting down. No, that will never happen because what you're going to learn is a end to end. Right from the beginning till publishing as an app and also building a application, that's what you're going to learn end to end. This will really help us to grab the opportunities that are currently in the market. And assuming that you're coming from a non-IT background, you're new to this technology, you're coming from a different sectors, different domains, you need not worry because we are going to build 3 real-time projects. We are going to build 3 real-time projects. This real-time projects will help you to crack any interview question as well. And the most important point which I need to say is all these tools which you are going to learn will require an organization account. For example, this is your organization account. For example, this is your organization account. You need an organization account. You need an organization account. And we are going to provide an organization account for every student who joins our course. You need an organization account to learn the concepts in depth. We are going to provide you organization account. And the most important point, and that is where we are unique at it, we are going to provide you the interview guidance and resume preparation guidance for you in order to start searching your job. You may have 100% knowledge. If you don't apply properly, if your applying skills is zero, you will never get calls. You will never get calls. People say that I'm not getting calls because you don't know how to apply. You don't know how to approach HRs. You don't know how to approach companies. You are stuck there. We would help you to get that as well. We would help you to get that as well. It's like one stop shop. And you may ask me a question. What if I read everything from Google? What if I read everything from YouTube? Yes, you can do it. But what is the quality you get there? You start any new technology, you people will be stuck like where to start, how to practice, how to get my hands on. That is where you will be stuck at. We provide one stop shop. You come in, you go out with a job. You come in, you go out with a job. That is what we are going to cover all in one. All in one. This is where we are very unique at it. None of the organization, none of the institute will provide you account for each and every student. We are doing it. We are the only institute in India. We are the only institute in India to give an organization account to each and every student, whoever is a part of KSR family. We try to provide you the complete in-depth environment requirement for you to go through this course. You can go and research anywhere, any other institute in India. You will never find an organization who gives you an account for each and every student. We do it. Go and check with any of the organization. No one will teach at everything at one course. If you are reading it from Google or if you're reading from maybe YouTube, you may find a separate course for Power BI. You may find a separate course for Azure. You may find for separate course for SQL or a Power Apps. Nothing is being taught at one-to-one. We are going to cover everything from scratch until you deploy a report. That's where we are unique at. So this answer your question why we are unique. And I would also say that after completing the course, you will be like a step to start your own SQL code writing skill. For SQL, you need a bit of coding that we are going to teach from beginning. From scratch. We are going to give you, we are going to teach you from scratch. Now, one thing you need to understand is apart from that, you'll also be building your reports. You will have a deeper knowledge with the Power BI cloud services, and you'll also be deploying the code as a Power App. Now you're going to learn all these below tools in this course. Now we have our own, this is a feedback. You can get it on our website. We have our own LMS app where you can get all the courses. You can get access to all the course, and we are having our own YouTube channel where we try to upload all the important videos, skillful videos that is required for interview preparations. And we add the details. You can visit our website. You can visit our website. You can get to know few more details, and you will get first 5 free classes as a free class. first 5 free classes. You can attend it free, then take a decision. Then take your decision. We are starting the batch from 2nd June, 8 a.m. The timings will be 8 to 9:30 a.m. Monday to Friday. Saturday and Sunday, we have doubt clearance, question and answers, assignments, homeworks, where our mentors will help you. Okay, so this is about the course details. If you want this course for the first 5 free classes, what you can do is you can visit our LMS website, datavision.com. You can click this. You will have the profile, or you can create your own profile. So this is our website. You just need your email ID and phone number. You can get registered. Go for the all courses. Go for the all courses. So this is where you can find all our course details. Just go and click this full stack Power BI with Power Platform. Click this and you can request for free. You just click free and you can go and see in the my courses, and you'll be able to see that course for free, and you'll be able to see that course here. So once you get that activated, you'll be able to see that course in your my course. Okay, two things are there. This is all courses and this is my courses. The one which you activate you'll be able to see here as a free course. Okay, and then you will be able to access it. Okay, so please do it and you can get the first 5 free classes. Okay, we'll try to answer all the questions in chat. Where it is located, we are from Bangalore. Organization account will be given for 1 year. Excel is not needed, that will be covered as part of Power BI. What knowledge is to select data analyst? For data analyst, you need to have business knowledge, you need to have a skill, the technical skill. That is what you'll be learning here. So Power Automate and Power Apps we are covering, so there is no point in learning MSBI. We are already learning Power BI. DAX will be covered. That's a very important part of Power BI that will be covered. We are getting less calls. The calls are not get reduced. Maybe the way you're applying is in a wrong way. So you have to approach the HRs on the LinkedIn and Naukri in a right manner to grab the right opportunity. So no calls for Power BI. By adding your Power Automate, Power Apps, SQL and Azure knowledge, you will be a highly skilled person who can grab the opportunity. 3.5 years of experience. Yes, you can definitely get into this skill. SQL will be part of this course. Yes. Fees and duration. This will be 3 months course. Monday to Friday, 8 to 9:30 in the morning. We are starting a new batch on June 2nd, 8 a.m. and the fees will be 25,000. The reason is we also should get the account from Microsoft for each and every student. So each and every account, the Power BI Pro account as well as a premium account, will charge us $10. Any other questions? We are not including MSBI. We are covering as automate, Power Automate and Power App, but we can still provide you MSBI videos. We will be providing MSBI videos as well. It cannot be covered in 1 month because the main reason why we are going to have 3 months is end of the day you have to survive in company. It's not that you finish it off in 1 month and you struggle in the company. That is not possible. So definitely we want to be a skillful person who can start jumping into the company and start your experience. That's where we are having a 3 months course where we provide you a lot of assignments, lot of tasks, lot of real-time scenarios, and will make you a skillful person. So never think about learning in 1 month. Yes, we will definitely be conducting mock interviews. We'll be conducting the interview questions. We'll be sharing you all the scenario based questions. No evening batches as of now. We have only one batch which is at 8 to 9:30, which is of 3 months. In case you miss the classes, the same day the recordings will be given to you, and the recordings will be valid for 1 year. The recordings will be valid for 1 year. In case you miss the class, the same day you can go and see the recordings. Every single word what I speak will be recorded. It will be definitely helpful whoever is having a career gap. We will guide you to get a job as a career gapped student. In Azure, we will be covering Azure SQL database, Azure block storage, Azure data lake storage, and Azure data factory. I'm good with SQL, SQL Server, and Power BI, so need to learn with Azure and Azure apps. So definitely you can get in touch with our team. They can guide you. But I would say that learn all four components so that you'll get the complete end-to-end interaction, even if you know it. Organization account is required for accessing your Power BI services. We are going to have a professional training here, so we don't encourage local languages like English, maybe Kannada, Telugu, Tamil. We don't teach in that language. We try to speak in English so that you get the clarity of how you need to explain in interviews. Python is not required. Definitely yes, most of the companies will be requiring this of the skills. I can tell you one thing, we don't have 100% placement. If I tell this, it's a lie. It's a lie. But one thing I can say, people who attend classes, people who regularly do assignments, people who help us in solving real time, we give you scenario based questions, people who help solving problems, people who maintain 100% attendance, I can guarantee you 100% job. You know why I don't promise 100% job? You attend first class, you attend second class, and you come for the 78th class and you ask a job. Do you think you can get it? If you are attending my classes, if you are attending our assignments, if you are attempting to solve all our use case, I can promise you 200% job. I can promise you 200% job. You can pay from our website and then convert it into EMI option by paying your credit card. We provide placements. We try to refer your profiles only if you are having all your prerequisites. That is, if you are attempting all our assignments, if you are trying to solve all our problems, if you are having 100% attendance in our courses, definitely we will help you. You can pay through credit card and you will be able to convert into EMI. We will be covering 3 real-time projects. You can decide it based on your credit card. Azure Synopsis, we will be helping you to get a knowledge where most of the scenario based things will be working in ADF. If you have any questions, please reach out to this number. We can guide you. Please reach out to this number. We can guide you. If you have any questions, please reach out to this number. We will be covering real-time projects. Even this is a good skill to learn for a 5-year experienced gap. You can do this. Please reach out to our team for more clarity on the course. Please utilize your first 5 free classes. Then decide. We are not going to ask you to join on the day 1. We are not going to ask you on the day 1. Please join our free course and then you can decide it based on the satisfaction. So this is all about the course. So thank you all. If you have any questions, please reach out to our team. Our team will help you. Thank you so much for your time. We'll meet in the course.